Rabbi Karen Levine.
One repays a teacher badly if one remains only a pupil. I heard this quote last week while managing the online production for the annual Jung on the Hudson seminar for the New York Center for Jungian Studies. It was mentioned by master teacher Christine Downing during her lecture about the relationship between Carl Gustav Jung and his teacher, Sigmund Freud. She was quoting Jung, who was quoting Nietzsche. One repays a teacher badly if one remains only a pupil. And so it is time for me to repay my teacher, Rabbi Jonathan Kligler, on whose shoulders I stand and whose legacy is now mine to carry forward. And it is also time to repay all of my teachers, my parents, Paul and Sandra Levine. How better to fulfill the commandment to honor one's father and mother than becoming a rabbi? Well, maybe becoming a doctor, but I married one, so it's okay. And my other teachers, my teacher, my brother Michael, my sister Susan, my daughter Alexandra, who is not with us today because she is in the wild somewhere in California, but she's with us in spirit. Mark, my husband emeritus, you like that title? My sister Suzanne, who's here with me, my family, my friends, my congregants, my students. Where's that other? There you are. My bandmates, all of you. For as it says in the Talmud, who is wise? One who learns from everyone. As it is said in the Psalms, from all who have taught me, I have gained understanding. I stand here today with my nearly 65 years of study and learning to, in the best way possible, honor and repay all of you, my teachers. All right, a story. Once upon a time, on October 5th, 2023, to be precise, I was invited to lunch at the Garden Cafe here in Woodstock by two angels, Ruth Bile and Myra Schwartz. They were already seated when I arrived and quickly got to the point. Both were very smiley, gleeful almost, as they laid out their plan that I should be the next rabbi of Kehilat Lev Shalem, the Woodstock Jewish congregation. We were fresh out of the High Holy Day tent, and with our new 4-woman clergy team on the bima, there was a lot of uncertainty about what these services would be like. To the relief of most who attended, including the service leaders, it was good. We got what we needed. The holy days worked their magic. And here we were on the most glorious, golden, early autumn day you can imagine, sitting in the garden, basking in the afterglow. Me, a rabbi, the rabbi? That was not in my plans. I was glad to be part of an interim clergy experiment while the congregation went back to the drawing board for a second-year rabbi search. I was glad to know that I could be a competent service leader after so many years in supporting roles. But I was also proud to be a non-ordained spiritual leader, as this felt most consistent with my anti-authoritarian feminist sensibility. The professional rabbinate was not something I'd ever aspired to, nor sure I particularly believed in. So when Myra and Ruth shared their proposal with me, I listened graciously, I thanked them for their confidence in me, and then I explained all the reasons why it was not a practical solution. If nothing else, I would need to spend many years and many dollars on rabbinical school, potentially needing to relocate to do that. This would not solve Woodstock's immediate need for a rabbi. But I was honored to be able to serve the congregation as part of the clergy team, and I looked forward to what the new year would bring. It was not an easy year, to say the least. Within 2 days of my lunch with Ruth and Myra, Hamas had attacked Israel, and the Jewish world was rocked to its core. Without recounting the details of what it was like to be a leader of a diverse Jewish community with many different and complicated relationships to Israel, it was hard. But I let my own passionate relationship with Israel and Israelis, my trust in the wisdom of Torah, and my need for sanctuary, especially for the calm, nurturing presence of Shabbat, to be my guides. And I received many messages of gratitude from congregants who were grateful to be able to walk into this building and experience a desperately needed respite from the griefs and anxieties of world and national events. And then, after another year of untold hours and disappointed expectations, we were again unsuccessful in hiring a new rabbi. In the meantime, as part of my role in serving on the clergy team, I was called to perform some funerals, both for members of our congregation and several outside the community. In each of these cases, mourners and guests would say, "Thank you, Rabbi." And I would say, "You are most welcome. It is an honor to be here to serve you at this time." It felt a bit dishonest, but I did not say, "But I'm not actually a rabbi." And this is where the door opened a crack, when I began to consider that maybe having the title would make it easier for people to understand my role and what I was bringing to them. And I approached Rabbi Jonathan for guidance on how best to move forward. He explained to me, as he did with you earlier this evening, that there is an older, more ancient process of receiving smicha, of the passing on of Jewish leadership and authority. And in the most beautiful way that the universe lines up, it is in this week's Torah portion, in Parshat Pinchas, that Joshua receives smicha from Moses. That initiates a process that has persisted generation to generation to this day, It is awesome to experience myself now in that lineage. All right, back to our story. After the last of our rabbi candidates rejected the offer of a contract, and note that I had been waiting to see what was going to happen with regard to clergy for the coming year so that I would know what, if any, role I might have in the new landscape. Someone whose opinion I greatly respect said to me, "You could do this job." I definitely had a year of tremendous growth, proving to myself at least that yes, I'm a competent service leader and I can offer a calm and comforting presence in some of the most challenging moments. So after a sleepless night, I called Ellie Kramer, then chair of the search committee and now president of our shul, and offered my candidacy. She was a bit incredulous. This was not exactly what she had previously considered, but she said she would bring it to the committee. Now, as an aside, as we were planning today, she actually revealed that very early in our relationship, if you remember this, on the Stairmasters of Fitness Unlimited in Kingston, New York, one of her first impressions of me was she would make a good rabbi. And then I received a visit from 2 more angels, 2 men this time, who came to my tent, well, actually my backyard, as I sat in the heat of the afternoon to let me know that I'd be having a child in my old age. Well, not exactly. But they said that the committee had seriously considered my offer and was prepared to move my candidacy forward. Was I serious and ready to step up? Or let me tell the story another way. There I was, enjoying a beautiful late May afternoon in my backyard when two men, Nathan Brenowitz and Ed Baum, came over to make me an offer I couldn't refuse. Now, as another aside, Mario Puzo lived in Merrick, the town on Long Island where I grew up. And he wrote The Godfather while he was living in Merrick, and his son Joseph was in my second grade class. Second grade? Yeah. And here we are today. And I am more surprised than most of you, who, when I told you that I was stepping up to become a rabbi and to potentially lead this congregation, said, "Of course, this is who you are. This makes so much sense. You can do this." There has not been a more challenging time in my lifetime to be a Jewish leader. To say that this task I'm stepping into is daunting would be an understatement. But I'm as ready as I'll ever be. And I'm committed to do my part to contribute to the work of Tikkun Olam, nurturing this committee and healing the world. What better way to address the recent rise in anti-Semitism, for example, than to show up as a Jew, carrying the wisdom of Torah and the compassion of chesed, of loving kindness, into some of the most difficult conversations. As my father said to me, as my parents were dropping me off from college, dropping me off at college for my freshman year, he said, "Get involved." Well, Dad, I jump into the water and get involved. So here I am. I am getting involved. And as my mother has always said, the world needs you. Okay, world, here I am. And what a blessing that we have reached this day together. And suddenly, I'm excited about what's going to happen next. It won't be easy, but I won't be bored. It's a privilege to be called to serve people in often the most intimate of ways. Young Jews in their 20s, 30s, and 40s especially need compassionate, creative, thoughtful leadership at this painful, confusing time. I will do my best, or as I have been assured by my friend Ed, more than my best, to be the teacher, the leader, the pastor that is needed. And so I am blessed to have this opportunity to repay my teachers with the fullness of my commitment to be the rabbi that it seems I have been training all my life to become. Before I conclude, I would like to thank a few people for their contributions to this day. And I know that this won't be everyone, but it's a start. Thank you, Rabbi Jonathan, for being my teacher and for convening this Beit Din. Thank you, Rabbi Ellen Triebwasser, who's been a great friend, a great teacher, a colleague, and a support for many years. Thank you, Rabbi Miriam Margles, Rabbi Karen Tashman, Rabbi Noyo, each important special teachers for me, and thank you for traveling to be here on this sacred occasion. Thank you, Myra and Ruth. Where are you? There you are. Thank you, Myra. Thank you, Ruth. You planted that seed 9 months ago. Look what it... And their reward is that they got to organize the party that we're going to have afterwards. So yes, there'll be a reception at the concluding of the program. We'll give a quick instruction about we're going to open the wall, we're going to move the chairs, we're going to bring out the tables. It'll all go fast. And then we'll hang out and party. Thank you to all the volunteers who have helped set up the chairs and decorate, especially Diane Colello. Diane, there you are. Thank you. And for making my beautiful kippah. Special thank you to Elena Erber, who typeset the smicha certificate. It is really beautiful, and we'll have it here on the piano if anybody wants to come and look at it. Thank you, Margot, who reminded me, of course, every gathering needs a clarinet. Absolutely, thank you. Thank you to Bonnie and the choir, who you'll hear from in a few minutes. And thank you, Barbara Pickart and Ars Corrales. Your presence is always my wish come true. Our tradition teaches that there are moments which coincide with significant religious observances and rituals and times of change in individual life status, like when one gets married or gives birth, or like today's ceremony. This is a time when the veil between the spiritual and the physical worlds is especially thin. And these times offer unique opportunities for blessing and for healing. And so I would like to offer you a blessing. Mishaberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, v'imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah. May the one who blessed our ancestors, our grandmothers and great-grandmothers, our grandfathers and great-grandfathers, bless you who are here today in this beautiful sanctuary in sacred land in Woodstock, New York, and those who are joining us remotely. I'm so happy that you're here. May you be blessed with curiosity. Curiosity keeps us in the moment. Curiosity says, whatever's happening now, what is that? Curiosity doesn't judge. Curiosity doesn't fear. Curiosity says, yes, I'm here, and I'm in it. I'm interested. And may your curiosity be tinged with a little bit of hope, right? Things can really get better. They really can. We can be surprised. Let's be surprised and curious for whatever is going to come next. And we say, Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.